What a week it was for the Jazz. Rudy Gobert's positive test for the coronavirus sent shockwaves around the world. It led to the decision by pro leagues, the NCAA, and high school sports organizations across the country to suspend events.
The positive of it all, it has also created a heightened awareness of COVID-19 that will likely end up saving lives.
And the Utah Jazz on Saturday announced that Rudy Gobert is donating more than $500,000 to support both the Employee Relief Fund at Vivint Smart Home Arena and COVID-related social services relief in Utah, Oklahoma City, and within the French healthcare system. More than 800 part-time employees work events at Vivint Arena. We also heard this message from Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, what would you do if you were shut in, isolated from the general public because of the coronavirus? As the second confirmed case of COVID-19 in the NBA, Donovan Mitchell currently experiencing the solitude of this virus, but today he did want Jazz fans to know how he's doing.
What's up, everybody? Donovan Mitchell here. Just want to say thank you guys so much for your continued support, man. It means a lot to me. I feel fine. Things are going well. I'm just taking the proper precautions. You know, as was told to me by the health authorities, I got to stay in isolation. So I'm solo in here, playing video games all day, and can't wait to get back out there on the floor, man, play in front of the best fans in the world. Really miss playing in front of you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.
We can't wait to see him either. So that is positive news from both Donovan and Rudy. The Utah Jazz were at the center of the moment this past week that changed the way this country is reacting to the threat of the coronavirus pandemic and how we're dealing with it.
Yeah, Wednesday night's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder was going to be very important for both teams. Just one game separating those two for 4th and 5th place in the Western Conference standings.
But as we know now that game was never played. Just seconds before the game was about to tip off, the Thunder head medical staffer Donnie Strack ran onto the floor to tell officials something. Players were wondering what was going on. Soon players were sent to their locker rooms. 35 minutes later, the public address announcer told fans the game was postponed for unforeseen circumstances. Within the hour, news broke that Rudy Gobert had tested positive for coronavirus. Both teams, staff, and media had to stay at the arena.
58 tests ended up being administered for COVID-19 to the Jazz and their staff. The results came the following morning. That's when the Jazz learned that one returned with a positive result. Star guard Donovan Mitchell diagnosed with COVID-19. The rest of the Jazz players, coaches, and staff that made the trip to Oklahoma City were all allowed to return to Utah and self-quarantine with their negative tests, while Rudy and Donovan made the trip back on a separate flight.
Rudy issued a statement on Instagram Thursday saying, "I've gone through so many emotions since learning of my diagnosis, mostly fear, anxiety, and embarrassment. The first and most important thing is I would like to publicly apologize to the people that I may have endangered. At the time, I had no idea I was even infected. I was careless and make no excuse. I hope my story serves as a warning and causes everyone to take this seriously."
Donovan also posted to Instagram and said, quote, "We are all learning more about the seriousness of this situation. Hopefully people can continue to educate themselves and realize that they need to behave responsibly both for their own health and for the well-being of those around them. I appreciate the authorities in Oklahoma who were helpful with the testing process and everyone from the Utah Jazz who have been so supportive."
Within the hour of Rudy Gobert testing positive coronavirus, the NBA made the decision to suspend the season until further notice. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver explains the league's decision.
This hiatus will be most likely at least 30 days. I mean, and we don't know enough, as you've all said, to be more specific than that, but we wanted to give direction to our players and teams and to our fans that this is going to be roughly at least a month. But then the question becomes, is there a protocol, frankly, with or without fans, in which we can resume play? I think we quickly agreed that this should not, of course, be a business decision. We should be listening to the public health experts, Oklahoma City and the team doctors. They conferred and fairly quickly decided we should not be playing. And then so, you know, I think I officially canceled the game, and immediate issue was clearing the building of fans and not alarming anybody.
Rudy Gobert received a lot of blame from people, and according to ESPN NBA reporter Adrian Wojnarowski, that finger-pointing was also coming from the Jazz locker room.
Yeah, Woj reported that, quote, Jazz players privately say that Rudy Gobert had been careless in the locker room, touching other players and their belongings. Now a Jazz teammate has tested positive.
Now, I kind of had an issue with this because there's no context provided in that report whether Rudy was careless before or after testing positive, which led to more hate and blame toward Rudy, and it also created a narrative that there's a rift between Rudy and other players in the locker room. Woj went even further into detail on SportsCenter.
I'm thinking about this Utah situation in your tweet today, and then the specific words that Donovan Mitchell uses about, like, basically it's like it doesn't seem like this is great between Gobert and Mitchell. I mean, is that an astute observation?
That is an astute observation, Scott. And the Jazz are fortunate that they don't have to get back together and start playing games again right now. There is a lot of work to do to repair relationships, not just between Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, but others in the locker room. There's a lot of frustration with Gobert. He certainly was apologetic today, but this is going to test. They've got great leadership in Utah. Dennis Lindsey, Justin Zanuck, Quinn Snyder, their coach, and in that locker room, it's going to be a test for all of them to get this team back on track if and when they return to playing this season.
So the national narrative spreads that Rudy is an idiot, basically, that carelessly spread this virus, and there's a rift between Rudy and Donovan and other players on the team. We can't interview the players right now, so there's no way yet to know how they really feel about all of this. But Zach Lowe of ESPN offered this perspective on his podcast.
I feel for him. He's going to be stigmatized forever for this. He was callous. He took this too lightly. He admitted his mistake in, I thought, a pretty artful way. He obviously feels guilty. He feels embarrassed. You know, Woj was reporting yesterday that there's a rift now between Gobert and the rest of the team. You know, my feel from the Jazz and talking to people there is that I think once everyone takes a deep breath, that will be okay. Look, we've all done dumb things, and all of us were taking this lightly, and I can tell you that Gobert is not the only player I saw in the last 10 days or 2 weeks who was sort of similarly making light of the threat of this. And by the way, we don't know if Donovan Mitchell got it from Rudy Gobert. His test just came back first.